Hello everybody, welcome in. Hope you guys are doing well. We are about to get started here. Go ahead and jump in. Noober Gaming, what's going on? How are you doing? Just myself. Estrello, good morning. Or good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. How are you guys doing today? I am about ready to paint. I think we just jump in. So I have good news and bad news. Good news is I'm going to paint this FellBlade today. Not all of it. I'm going to paint as much as I can today and continue through the week. Bad news is the Baneblade won't fit on the camera. It won't fit in frame. And I can't zoom out anymore. So this is what I got. You got good news? What's your good news, Noober? Hey, Moo Juice, what's up? So we're gonna start painting this thing. You'll see some of the clear red. One of the issues I have when I paint with clear red, or this clear red in particular, is if you put it on too heavy at any point, it starts to bead up. Now, this underside probably had the disadvantage of the tank drying in this manner. And so it's going to pull up a lot more. But it does pull up a bit. It did a little on the sides here. If you look like right there. And then a little up toward the front. It's an easy solution. It's not a big deal. So I'm not worried about it. It happens sometimes on my minis and you usually can't tell. So I'm just going to roll with it. Butcher FellBlade in about 3 hours. Yeah, oh yeah, it was a delight to put this thing together. Good. I'm glad, Moo Juice. I'm glad it was a good process. Highlights and shading. All right, sweet. Good to hear, Noober. That's awesome. So we're gonna go ahead and start. I have everything. Oh, I guess I should have moved that gun. Look at that. It just sat in the same spot. Maybe we just glue it in that spot eventually, or just keep it in there, or we'll figure it out. Start the Plague Burst Crawler. Awesome. So we're gonna go ahead and start painting this, and yeah, just get the ball rolling. Tonight you start. Yeah. I'm gonna start with silver. And we're just going to go through all the pieces that we need to paint silver on this. Yeah, I think those whole barrels, these exhausts, these pieces, some of the inner workings, all of these wheels here will all be silver. Some weapons in the visor, a lot of this demolisher cannon. Yeah. I think it's nice to have a ladder access on the back is a nice touch, just on the one side. That's the same side of the turret. If you see this massive turret, there's actually steps on the side there, which is pretty great. You can see some of that hydrophobic kind of spotting happened right there as well. But again, it's okay, not a big deal. We can work around it, but yeah, we got a lot of silver to paint. Steels for seamless exhaust to fit. Oh, cool. All right. Nice. Yeah, the exhaust on this is identical to the Spartan. A lot of this mini, if you've put together a Spartan and like a Sakaran or a Kratos, then you're good to go on this mini. It's still sticky, isn't it? Oh, yeah, it is. Huh. Alright, what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to put a glove on and handle this mini while I have a glove on, because I know it's easy to wipe paint away from these. Alright, crack the old fingers here. Alright, so let's start with silver. here a while. Maybe a long while. We're going to thin this silver down. Just some flow improver. You guys are having a good Tuesday. We'll get one of our older two brushes here. Alright, I think the first thing I start on are these wheels. A lot of these wheels are going to be underneath. Tracks, so they won't be. Actually, mix that paint up. Okay, all right. There we go. They're gonna be underneath these tracks, but we'll make sure we get a good layer regardless. And if we feel like we need some plastic exposed to glue these treads on, then we'll do so. It's time. Just get all of these that are touching a surface. I'll just start with that. Go through and we'll get all the other necessary parts. It's just the whole screen. Yeah, just the whole screen is red. Big tank. If I really wanted to go crazy, I could say that, like, hey, I have a game on Friday. I want to finish this thing by Friday, but I'm not going to do that to myself. I'm sure I will be painting at some off stream, maybe tomorrow night. I'm not streaming tomorrow, just so you guys are aware. I'll keep mentioning that to remind people through the day, but I'll still do a Patreon hangout. I do, yeah, I have a game on Friday. Friday evening, someone wanted to meet at a store. So it's regular from our group, but it hasn't played 3.0 yet. All my painting stuff a while back. Do natural disaster. Got unpacked, laid out the other day. Did a few minutes of painting. Oh, good. That's good, Fox. I'm sorry you've had to go through all that, but glad you're able to get the things out and jump back in. Insert brush. What happened to the bottom? Yeah, right here. So what happens with this clear paint is sometimes it beads up, and you can kind of see it along the bottom. It's more prominent up here. This is probably the worst of it, which it's underneath the tank, so it's fine. It happened a little on top too, right there, but it just happens sometimes. I'm not sure whether it's like the coat is slightly too heavy, the coat of paint, and then it just decides that it's going to beat up and not stick to anything, or I don't know. Do not know. This paint is like annoying at best to work with. Hey, Sham Shalabim, welcome. Welcome. Same problem with the Forge World clears. Maybe GWs are similar. Yeah, these aren't GWs. This is AK Interactive. But that's good to know. It's not like the only clear paint that does that stuff. Oh, you're saying you never had that problem? Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. This dang, this AK paint is weird. It's a weird clear paint. Peter, John Lockridge, welcome in. What you guys doing? Internet's down at the office. You're on your phone. Nice. All right. Someone own one of those big tanks, Spartan or Kratos. Yeah. Yeah, I understand, Peter. I understand. Yep, this is definitely a nice to have, not a need to have. But Stream was kind enough to actually buy it for me. Let's go through. Let's get this other side first underneath. So there is a coat of primer. There's a coat of metal color gold. There are multiple coats of clear red. And then a heavy coat of gloss varnish. And a heavy coat of matte varnish. All on this mini already. So there is a lot going on. Draft next week Friday. Should be fun. Oh, that's cool. Alright. That sounds like a fun time. That's at the store that you've been going to? Nice. White and Red Thousand Suns tank of that size looks striking once it's finished. I hope so. I really hope so. Hey, Raja, what's going on? This is a big tank.
First of all, let me take just a moment to thank you for allowing
Hey, thanks for following. Welcome in. You ever seen a fallen army in 30K? You're talking about like Dark Angels fallen? I've seen people doing like Traders Dark Angels. But I don't know. I don't remember if people specifically call them fallen or not. It's too bad there's no rules for Luther. The present game. This is just steel. Yeah, this is Pro Acryl steel, so it's their mid-tone silver. Right. We're gonna rinse, we're gonna get the inner wheels, and then we're gonna keep going around and getting more of the wheels on here. And I thinned it down with a bit of flow improver. When you're painting large surface areas like this, thinning down the metallics goes a long way. So I noticed metallics tend to be a little thicker than other paint. And it's annoying to get your paint kind of gummed up. This thing was ridiculous. I was trying to airbrush it in my airbrush booth and kept bumping the sides of the airbrush booth. Updated ETA. I can look it up. I can look it up in a little bit soon. Well, I was supposed to get that fan motor for my HVAC in yesterday, and it's still out of stock on the company's website. They haven't shipped anything yet, so SOL on that for the week, which is not too bad. 1,000 Suns tank gets Psychic as a keyword in 30k. Not in the rules, no, unfortunately. All of the Legion rules in 30k specifically affect everybody but vehicles and robots, so automatons. Those are the things that are not affected by Legion rules. It used to be certain legions, their Legion rules would work on tanks and stuff, but they made that so every Legion rule affects the same types of models to kind of even that out a little bit, because it was kind of lame when you'd have like Imperial Fists just have all their tanks hitting on 2s because, you know, everything fits in their category of an auto weapon or a projectile weapon basically, while 1,000 Suns, their tanks were a disadvantage because they didn't benefit from your actual rules in the game. It's really weird. I want to play 1,000 Suns, but their model selection doesn't feel right to me. Pretty expensive to use 40k models as 30k models. You can use 40k models as 30k. I know people use them. They talk about how Zen. There's no update on the film. It's still same ETA. There's a lot of people that their thing is they say, hey, buy the it's the Exalted Sorcerer's Kit with the 3 sorcerers in it, and they're like, you just use that as bits for like all of your characters, and then if you want like veterans or you want to disperse a lot of parts throughout your army, you buy like a rubric kit, and you have all the like cool looking bolters, you have some extra like fancy heads, you got different shoulders, you have all these different like bits to use. So you're not necessarily just buying the 40k kits, these are 30k, but you can use it as bits, which, you know, is probably not really in a lot of ways cheaper. The Scarab Occult Terminators make really good command squads. If you want Terminator command squad, especially in Tartarus, because they're wearing Tartarus armor. So those are good to use for that. Yeah, John, there are stories in like Heresy lore about 1,000 Suns pilots or like Xiphon interceptors. It was like they were like their own cult, like psychic cult. that learned their own like powers that benefited them as psychic pilots and everything. I wish that was represented in the rules because I like the Xiphon Interceptors, and it'd be cool to have a unique one that could get like a power. Hey, Eel Raptor, what's going on? Painting big model today, so maybe not the best as far as viewing goes. Yes, Big Tank, what's up, Misfit? It's a lot easier painting these now when the treads are already on. Found the OG Deathwatch kill team today. Oh, cool. Are those like firstborn minis, or what's the difference between the OG ones? I think those came out in like the gap of my 40K collecting. Smaller, only single builds. Okay, okay. Yeah, because they're not like, you know, like Primaris, right? Had to rescue it from the dust. Really, really. Okay. So let's set him down. We got the wheels done. At least that coat. So let's figure out what we're going to do next. And I think we go on to the engine and kind of the rear compartments of this. I can just hold this mini like so. And we can always come back and do a second coat. There's nothing wrong with that. Room on my desk for this thing. Silver, gold, maybe some white on the mini today. Starting on that, that would be a really nice start. But I have the turret and the sponson weapons to do as well, so it might take longer than we think. Get one side at a time. So we already have the next giveaway, the October giveaway set. It's pretty cool. Estrello sent me some minis. They are Forge World, 40K Epic, Warhound Titans. So actual like little warhounds from Forge World before that was before like Adeptus Titanicus was out and everything. So there's a pair of them, and I'm thinking about giving the pair away together. Gotta think of some colors to paint. I gotta put them together and everything. I clean the clean the resin and such, but looking forward to figuring out what to do with those. When I start my Blight Lords, I was thinking of having viewers pick the weapons. Hey, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, especially if you're not like playing competitively or whatever, and care about WYSIWYG with everything, or if you just play with what weapons they have, then that's totally cool. One down. Love the fuel tanks. Yeah, it's very Soviet, right? It was like T-72s and stuff. They would do the fuel tanks in the back. The Space Marine tanks don't usually come with a lot of accessories, so it's cool that they give you some stuff. I'm not usually one to put a bunch of accessories on my tanks. I feel like those fuel tanks are definitely one. They make it look bulky. So, yes, I'm using steel. Yeah, definitely my most used metallic at this point. Next one here. Okay. It's our brush. And Zen printed a bunch more terrain for me and delivered it this morning, so that terrain is pretty high in the priority list to paint. I'm excited about it. I think special in the area where the turret meets the base to keep the paint from wearing. Right here, I don't care about it right there, honestly. I probably won't do anything. The varnish that's on the mini, and it'll end up getting more varnish before it's done. That'll be enough to stop most of the wear and tear. And it's not something that people are going to usually see. Hey, Quishy, what's going on? Painting 3D printed proxies for crisis suits. Nice. Very nice. Slowly working my way through this silver. A lot of edge highlighting, yeah. I understand. I'm going to be right there with you here soon. This mini has so much red on it. That's all going to need edge highlighted. Town minis get a lot though. Okay. Now the fuel tanks, I'm actually going to look this up. So I'm going to set this mini down. Yeah, I thought about dry brushing and the last couple times I tried it, it just didn't turn out how I wanted. So I figured this is one mini. People are gonna be looking really close at it. I'm just gonna do the classic edge highlight. So let's go look up. Okay. 360 pictures of this thing. Yeah, I think that works. Could just keep it red. You know about a tormentor? Yeah. There's an STL for that. That's around that I've heard is really nice. You gonna go take a nap? Alright, dude. Enjoy your nap.
Look at me!
Alright, and whips? Alright, Quishy, give me just a minute. I'll check it out. There's this pair of barrels. Sorry, I don't have like a good angle here. Painting these, so... Be a bit off camera. Okay. You want a Mortarion for your army? But Death Guard player doesn't. Whips. Oh, yeah, man, that's a lot of edge highlighting on those suits. Yeah. They got fists. They got little hands. That's cool. Is there like magnetized weapons for them, or are they just like their own thing? Oh, in Misfit, I see your Drazar there. Looks really good. Those aren't printed. Who was doing the printed minis? Someone was doing printed minis. Oh, you haven't printed the... okay, yeah, you haven't printed the weapons. Gotcha. That's cool. We got the base minis you're getting done, and then you just have the weapons to paint. Invest in drone camera. Yeah, no kidding, Night Ninja. No kidding. This is one large mini. I'm trying. It's like, do I paint the mini well, or do I paint it on camera? Those are the dilemmas. The turret. Yeah, you're talking about this spot, like the friction spot or whatever. By the time this mini's done, that spot will have another layer or two of varnish over it. And yeah, I am not planning on doing anything else in particular to, I guess, mess with the surface or change the surface at all in preparation for a turret to sit on there. Most of the time it's not going to be seen. The times it comes off is when it's traveling, or maybe when it's dead and I put some like flame stuff in there. But otherwise, like my other tanks, the turret rings have been fine.
Look at me!
Alright, where am I looking? And finished? Alright. Let me finish up this this barrel here. This fuel tank. Okay, we got that. There's not a ton more silver to put on this mini, on the main hull. There are other pieces a lot more. All right, Nuber. Hey, you got your Death Guard going. I love it, dude. I love it. Also love Painting Dad stream on in the background, so bonus points for you. Very nice looking stuff though. I like the green that you used. You know what I really don't like about the Games Workshop site with this mini? They used Iron Warriors as their example mini. And I know people like Iron Warriors, but you're not really showing off the color scheme when everything on the mini is silver. Somebody ban this man. Someone ban Cultured American. Get him out of here. 1 second, guys. Okay. Yeah, it's you know, it'd be nice to see like what colors should be like weapon casing and what colors should be, you know, the actual metallic on the vehicle. And when you're dealing with Iron Warriors, it's just like yes. Her model is like pulling teeth. Really? You know what I need to do with this? Oh, there's a model I should go grab here. To give myself an idea of what should be what color. I painted things. It's like steak. If you can bake it, it's easy, it'll taste fine. If you finesse it, it comes out amazing. Yeah. That's fair. It's not helping for my specific purpose of what I need them to do, which is show me colors. Okay, I'll be back in just a second. I'm gonna go grab a couple miniatures to help me get an idea of what's what colors. So back in just a moment, guys. Okay, so what I did, I brought my second largest mini, my Typhon, because this is the closest thing to a demolisher cannon I have in my army. So I just want to match up these colors onto this demolisher cannon, even though it's much bigger. Also, I went ahead and grabbed one of my rapier batteries, because I am going to be painting laser destroyers for the sponsons. So I just wanted an example of how to paint those. But looks like silver behind the ring there, silver up there, and then we'll start doing some black casing is what I'm looking at. So pretty easy. Yeah, I'll use Pro-Cro washes. Yeah. The two washes I use the most that aren't Pro-Acryl are Seraphim Sepia. Mainly because I have it, and Pro-Acryl doesn't have like a sepia wash yet. So I'll use that one, and then I use Army Painter Strong Tone, because it's a decent brown wash and it's cheaper than everything else. The rapier's adorable. Yeah, it is. It is. A black wash is good as known oil. I like Pro-Acryl. The Pro-Acryl wash you need to thin a little bit, but it lays a lot smoother than even like known oil and everything. So I think for that reason it's really nice, and I use it a lot. And you know, the ability to thin it out is also nice. It's also cheaper. What I'm gonna do, yeah, Pro-Acryl brown wash is interesting. It's probably my least used wash, because it's like a true brown wash. It's not like a black brown like Agrax Earthshade is. So don't use it expecting it to replace Agrax Earthshade, because it is not the same. It's relatively weak as far as a wash is concerned. So I don't use it super often. They have a new one that's brown gray. Gray brown, brown gray. Brown gray wash is a pretty decent replacement. It's got its own like kind of color tone and everything, but yeah, that's a good one. All right, I think for this mini, I think this is all we want at silver. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a quick second coat over some of the things here. Why do we wait for the second coat? Now we can do second coat. Yeah, don't use brown wash thinking it's going to be Agrax. An Army Painter Strong Tone is probably the closest comparison. Which is one of the reasons I use it as much as I do. Yeah, it's very light in color. It's not a very strong wash. That's cool. We got a store that has PA though, so enjoy painting a lot more with my Pro Acryl paints. Turret hatches and sponsons. Next, the treads are already base coated. Their next step is just getting a wash. So, but they're still on the sprue. Three of them close to me now? Yeah, they really are expanding though. Yeah. Good. Nothing else. It's good to have the competition, right? This hobby. Oh, weird. Huh. Yeah, we don't have a lot of AK Interactive around us either. There used to be only one store that sells it. Now there's two, but one of them's a new store. So, which is kind of nice because I get that clear red from them. If I had a clear red. I'm interested in the Vallejo, the new Vallejo metal colors. I am very interested in how they look and how they behave, especially the red, because in the video that I saw, it was like Juan Hidalgo or something, That red looked on par with what I use. So if there's something that can mimic what I got, and it's, you know, doesn't reactivate and doesn't have the issues this AK does, I'll take it. It's the new airbrush metal color. It's awesome. Yeah. I like the Vallejo metal colors as they are. So, you know, I use metal color gold as a base coat for this. I have a couple of their different silver tones. Super thin, really heavily pigmented. They're terrible for brushwork, but otherwise, they're really nice. This look too big. Looks like it has gold leaf on it. Talk about the metal color. I have not noticed out the metal color at all. They're so thin. Not the Vallejo metal color, right? Or you're talking about AK. AK stuff. I'm thinking something different. I use the Vallejo metal color. Not their metallics. It's a specific line called metal color. It's in really thin, like large thin bottles. Yeah, no, not their I'll show you here. Yeah, they have a specific line called metal color. Vallejo is a brand that is probably more inconsistent with their quality than just by any other brand. Hey, Butterscorch, what's up? Okay. So I've heard people describe that metal color in many different ways, but flaky has never been one of them. No, I can imagine their normal metallics being like that. Okay, let's finish up with 2 weapons on the front. Kind of see where we are then, and move on. Craft paint metallics, yeah. It's also how I describe army painter metallics. I have some of their metallic paint, and it's just unpleasant. Okay, 2 coats of metallic paint on the body of a FellBlade in the hole. You see the speed paint metallic line. I have used some speed paint metallics and they are okay. Yeah, I haven't actually used any of the Fnatic stuff, but I have, honestly, I've seen enough of Army Painter paints. Use a few Fnatic paints, yeah. Okay. Big gun. Look at that. Look at that. Nobody's overcompensating here. This is true to form. Let's paint big gun here. I think this stuff will stay. Yeah, this won't be metallic, but from here up, definitely, maybe. Oh, so the Praetor in Discord, that's a small gun, yeah. Puny gun. Take a look in a minute, Butterscorch. Get this barrel painter, at least get to a point where I rinse my brush. These shields near the base of the barrels would do bronze. Yeah, these are going to be a good bronze color. Yeah. That was, that's my thought too, Noober. Great minds. Muzzle could go either way, yeah. Okay. Yeah, the big muzzle breaks at the end. Yeah, we'll have to figure out what color. I'm thinking this lining under here. You guys see how this is all neatly marked out underneath the mini right there? That's going to be white. Top of the dome will be red. Obviously a lot of accents and stuff, but okay. Let's see. Discord? Where are you putting them in Discord? Let's see. Butterscorch. Alright, Thalax. Nice. It's the Slaneshi Thalax, and you got the Praetor. Alright, yeah, it's great. Great looking so far. He's got the giant, like, sensor flail thing. That's awesome. Noober, yes, this is 1,000 Sun. If you chose to listen to what Cultured American was saying earlier, I apologize, and I just want to say that he speaks for no one on this channel, and he actually ends up being more of a nuisance. So, and he knows it as well. Muzzle should be gold. No. The thing with 1,000 Suns, you can put a lot of gold on them. But if you show a little restraint with the gold, It goes a long way. Black, white, or bronze are probably the appropriate colors for the specific muzzle. I do use bronze on my minis, so... What did he say? Cultured American came in earlier and was talking about how this was a Blood Angels tank. And some poor soul took that to heart. Or innocent Nuber Gaming. Muzzle to do blues and copper color. Yeah, like the actual heat. I like the heat staining effect. I've done it on vehicles, but not on like not on vehicles. Not just like guns. I'll put them on like flame weapons and certain energy weapons and stuff. I'll do the heat staining. What I'm thinking for this muzzle brake here. Okay, here I'll give you guys the idea. Here's my color thoughts, okay? Bronze on this, like, what are these, like the heat traps or whatever, these things, bronze. These two bands that hold the barrels together, black. And then this big muzzle brake, this band right here will be black. This will be bronze. And then this front kind of end cap right here. Whoops. Okay, black on this band, bronze, and then this kind of end band front cap piece will be black. So you get a little variety up at the front. I think that's what I'm gonna do. They are big guns, and that would be a lot of heat. I do agree with that. I don't know if the like the rate of fire maybe prevents that from being a thing. Going back and seeing how other people painted their Thousand Suns, I totally would have done bronze with the gold. I think would have looked, or bronze instead of gold. A lot of my minis, I think it would look really properly like grim dark, but it's okay. Maybe I have no clue what it'll represent. Okay, okay. Just doing something for fun, Butterscorch. Nothing wrong with that. Realize the head. Way wrong in the Thalax. Oh, really? What's wrong about it? The top is supposed to be the faceplate. I also think you're talking about Butterscorch's Thalax, because I think that's on purpose with how he did that one. He was trying to make it look different. He's doing all his Thalax in like unique like chaos corrupted schemes, so it looks cooler. Yeah. Yeah, I think it looks great. Okay, let's keep going on. It sure is on purpose, according to Butterscorch. So there you go. Butterscorch knows what they're doing. Second coat eventually. Don't know what these pieces are for. This part in silver though. Okay, we can get the someone got the big tank. I did Sectorix, and this wasn't just me getting the big tank. This was actually stream raising money for the big tank. And I made a goal. I was like, man, if I could get it before like Christmas, that would be cool. And then everybody raised the money before the mini even came out. So I got to go pick it up the day it released. A couple pieces here, a few details, but then that's about it. There's a lot of red up here, so it is wholesome. Yeah. Stream was very generous, and we have a name for the tank also. It is Donatrix Anonyma. It's an anonymous donor because there was one anonymous donor that gave a lot of money toward it. Not want to be named. So that's what we're naming this tank. Guinevere? Call it a Guinevere? Lukewarm Christmas boxes. I think the Krieg Christmas box is really cool. I kind of like the Space Marine one. Apparently people buy up the Tau battlesuit ones because those, for some reason, they get one like every year with just like 6 battlesuits in it. So those must be real hit. Would have named it SASD. Last year was 4 suits. It was just 4 suits, wasn't it? Yeah. Got 2 of those. It was a good box. They had the big ones. Okay, all right. That's interesting to know. I would. Oh, shut up and sit down. That's a funny one. Yeah, that's a good name. You could have named it Noober Gaming if you were the highest donor. Alas, it didn't happen. So I would think if I were in 40k, if I were still playing 40k right now, and not like neck deep in heresy and you know, getting all the heresy things that I'm getting and everything, Krieg would have been my army, and I would be all over that Christmas box, the Krieg Christmas box. Even though I understand it's not like points wise, it's not as good of a value as any of the others, but it's a good box. Like the stuff that comes in it synergizes really well with the combat patrol that just came out for him too. No, there's 7 Christmas boxes, and it's always a random assortment. Normally it's like 4 or 6 different Christmas boxes that come out. This year's kind of strange. 40k got 7 of them, but it's cool. We're gonna do another coat of paint onto the turret. After this, another coat of silver. And then we're going to move on to the sponsons and the hatches. No Death Guard. Yeah, Death Guard typically get one. Death Guard I feel like I've gotten one every year for the past like 4 years. Finish highlighting another suit. Nice, nice. It's raining pretty hard here. Painting Sun's supposed to have a soccer game tonight, but I have a feeling it might be canceled. Okay, I think that's it for the baseline silver here. And what we can do, actually, before we do a second coat on there, let's step back for a second. Let's get these sponsons out. And we're going to paint the silver on these sponsons first. And this is the first Laser Destroyer sponson I've painted, but I do have a Laser Destroyer here that is somewhat similar, and we can get an idea of how it looks. It's rain. It's just rain. I'm just right in front of a window. And the rain just happens to be hitting the window directly. Field squad of these Salax Terminators as Myrmidon Destroyers. There we go. Alright. Myrmidons are really good. That's all just silver, alright? Holding pieces. come back, we'll get a second coat of silver. You know, if we don't get that far on these, on this mini today, like it's hours of progress that we're getting. That's the big key here. Everything's on a 40 mil base. Yeah. It does. Well, with Mechanicum too, you do have a lot of stuff that's on like a 40 mil or bigger. So that is just kind of part of the Mechanicum faction. I ended up gluing these pieces in. I didn't want to worry about more ridiculous magnets on all of this stuff, so I just decided to go ahead and glue them in. I have two sponson options, so it was nice. I didn't even have to worry about like I would have magnetized one weapon, and that one weapon was the las cannon array, which I already have one for my Spartan. So if I really need a las cannon array on one of these vehicles, I can put it on them, and I have no issue. You know, I'm not playing competitively with a FellBlade and a Spartan, but if I ever bring them in the same game, one can have the las cannons, one can have the laser destroyers. It's fine. They're fairly identical. I think the laser destroyer is probably a little better, but same amount of points. Both have pros and cons. One coat of silver, and again, it's so nice to have a color that I don't have to mix. Put in. I probably talked about that quite a bit. The Procryl steel not being needing me to mix silver and dark silver to make. So nice. Playing Techron's Electric Carbide this year? Yeah. That's funny, Doc Rose. Of all the things that the Joker's mad about. Okay. Let's get the other one. You put down a deposit. Yeah. I think it's a very like it's like a Tesla thing, right? It's a dig at Tesla. Maybe at the time. There's plenty of other things to dig on Tesla about now, but like yep. Heard it here first, guys. He's not the hero we want or deserve. Yeah, maybe the hero we deserve. I don't know about hero. I don't know if that's the right word to use, but... It's one color. I've been going at it for over an hour and a half at this point. Found a spot I missed. Second coat is silver. We'll get to all these other parts. Hey, Blue, what's going on? How you doing? See you're on Twitch today. That's good to hear. Hopefully you're able to work from home. Ugh. Yeah, that does sound... Man. Subway doesn't sound good when you actually, like eat it then and there, let alone... Zero, what's up? Tired, yeah. Not a fan. It's not. Yeah, fun story for Wednesday. Alright, sweet. Getting our story hype going for Patreon Hangout. I'm sure I'll have some for you guys too. This is what we do, guys. Wednesday night Patreon Hangouts, we chill and we share stories with each other about our week and just like the ridiculous things that happen. Ends up being pretty great. I did not magnetize the sponsons. I was actually just talking about this a few minutes ago. So the reason I didn't is because there are 3 sponson options. Get some more paint. There's 3 sponson options in this FellBlade kit. All 3 of them are compatible with the Spartan Assault Tank. That's been out since the beginning of 2nd edition. So they each have a las cannon array, a heavy bolter array, or a laser destroyer. This is the laser destroyer. The Spartan kit only came with the las cannon array. And then this set comes with the same sprue, that same las cannon array sprue. And then it also comes with another sprue that has the heavy bolter array and the laser destroyer sponson. Well, I have one Spartan, and my thought is, well, what's funny about that too, with it coming with the 2 sprues, is that it comes with enough parts to build two sets of sponsons. So I could build any 2 sponsons I wanted out of those packages because they're compatible out of those 2 sprues. So I decided on the laser destroyer and the heavy bolter array, because what I can always end up doing is if I need a las cannon array, if I want to put that on the FellBlade, I just take the one from the Spartan, and vice versa. If I need the bolter array, I'll take it from this set and put it on the Spartan, you know, if I want the Spartan to have that. If for some forsaken reason I'm bringing both of those vehicles at the same time, which is over 1,000 points in vehicles for just those 2, mind you. It's a lot. But if I were to bring both of those at the same time, I would just give them 2 different weapons. Because in no sense am I bringing 1,000 points of those vehicles, and I am playing in a competitive sense, which I don't really do anyway. So the bolter sponsons really intrigue me, though. They don't put out a lot of damage. What they do put out is statuses. I scare people into not moving, or not shooting, actually. Messes up all their targeting or whatever. They're getting shot so much. Fancy exploding rounds. Okay. Having my community's chill. Yeah, that's true. That's true. You stream for 6 hours. That's awesome. What good is a gun that just destroys lasers? That's true. That is true. Well, I have my example laser destroyer here. That's the only one. Well, I have my little rapier with the laser destroyers, and I will say they destroy pretty well. And not just lasers. Okay. Here's the bolter arrays, the heavy bolter arrays. I know, the adorable little tank. Hold on. Turret, little tank. Look at it. I want more rapier batteries. They're too adorable not to have multiples. May work on everyone's favorite word bear today. Yeah, ban this man. Nobody works on Erebus and gets to tell us about it. It's terrible. Culture American, are you saying that to me, or are you using that as an example of what the rapier is saying to the FellBlade? Place the turret with a catapult that throws a little tank. Yeah, I don't want to throw those little tanks. They could get hurt. Yeah, I knew it was Erebus. I knew it was Erebus. Oh, I know you really wanted to tell me that. I understand. Okay, it can't. No. I mean, it absolutely can be both. Yeah, there's no reason it can't be both. Break from 160 clan rats. Yeah, that's rough. I think what I'll do after the silver today, if we have time after our second coat of silver, is we'll go for bronze, because there's definitely some different pieces that need bronze and light bronze. Because our next big color is our bright neutral gray, and I definitely don't have time to get anywhere on that today. So, but we'll get to that after if we have time. I won't like completely skip it, but. For painting Erebus, banned for complimenting your blood angels. Yeah, So many guns hooked up to this thing. I wonder how loud this would be. I feel like a heavy bolter is a really loud weapon. Just 4 of them. About Iron Warrior's lack of color. Yeah, I was. I look up the example mini for the FellBlade because I was just thinking like, I wonder like what part of this mini is like weapon casing and what part is just like the metallic on the weapon. And sure enough, when I go to GW's website, the mini they use as an example is an Iron Warriors painted FellBlade, which is all silver anyway. So it answers none of my questions. Yes, brother Tinnitus. How loud the heavy bolters are. Affiliate in 4 days, Zurich Girl. Nice. So you gotta do it. Good deal, man. Are you painting in the... Are you streaming in like the miniatures and models channel? Fire RPG or bazookas. Yeah, just like bazookas the whole time. But just rapid fire and there's 4 of them firing at the same time. Ridiculous. Your PNG tuber model? Oh, it's a Skaven. Hey, if that gets people in, that's cool. I'm working on getting that same thing from YouTube, and I think you have to have, I think it's 500 subscribers on YouTube. I'm at like 325 or so. So, little channel. I started putting out videos, and I'm getting, you know, actual videos, not just streaming there. And it's been getting better, so that's nice. Okay, I think that's it for the first coat. And this weapon, no, I need to get into here some. Okay. Coat. It's the last sponsored weapon. And then,
First of all, let me take just a moment to thank you.
oh, hey, Natsy. Thank you for subscribing on YouTube. We're getting there. I appreciate it. But I just have the little hatches, which I think it's just one of them. I think one of them just stays completely red, and the other one will get some color on it. Then we're gonna go through and do a second coat. The main hull already has its second coat of silver, so it's done. Its silver's done. So we need this on all the other pieces. It's interesting that the silver on kind of the main parts of the tank, so the hull and the turret aren't too bad. These turret weapons always take forever, though. I've painted a lot of turrets, and they always have so much more detail than everything else. What's up, Tuvon? How you doing? YouTube stream from my local... Oh, cool. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I learned that kind of shared my videos I've been making in the Big Heresy Discord. I learned, gasp, I got a rule wrong in an hour-long video. I feel really bad about it. Like, what do I... Like, I need to refilm it now. Yes, there are heavy bolters in Astartes. Yeah. Wait, and, no. Their normal weapons are just bolters. I can't remember if there's an actual heavy bolter, but yeah. Finishing up a Salamander's build? Nice. Nice. I know I was on the internet. You know, though, I kind of laugh about it. Like, if you want people to, like, engage with your content on the internet, which is like I kind of hate using that phrase, but say something wrong. Just do something wrong in your video, even if it's just something like super mundane. Just doing something wrong, and like you'll get people coming out of the woodworks to tell you that you're wrong about it. And my one issue with getting this information wrong is it was someone told me in the Discord channel that I had it wrong instead of telling me on YouTube. Like, dude, just put the comment in the channel so I can at least get some benefit out of getting, you know, some criticism out of that. Isn't that rage baiting? Yes, yes it is.
Let me take just a moment to thank you for allowing me back into
Blade Smasher, thank you for following. How you doing? Welcome back. Basic shoulder pads, final parts, the impulsor. Sarah Lewis making her third smash gun. Nice. Yeah, I really would not mind being on YouTube and being the Thousand Suns guy on YouTube, you know. So try to keep making content. Or I'm having fun doing it too. It's not too difficult. I'm kind of an idiot, so feels good that I can do it with minimal issue, minimal struggles. Keep army case came. All my kill teams. Oh, cool. All right. Very cool. You like it then? You think it was good purchase? Very much so. Good. It's good to hear. Alright. Here, and I think that's it for first coat of paint of silver over all of these. So let's get some more silver down the palette, and we'll go back through our turret and the sponsons. And I'm not done with the silver. I have these two things. This gets, I guess, two little bits of silver here. Okay. whole underside in silver. I like this inside part in silver. Man, all this rain today makes me want to take a nap. Forge Worlds and Myrmidons are going to be significantly more cybernetic than Martian ones. Okay, that's cool. Theremins make me sleepy. Yeah, I think it's the combination between the theremins and the rain. When I hear theremins, I always think of Mars Attacks. Anybody else? I feel like that whole soundtrack was just theremins. It's great though. Okay. So, big brush, more paint. You think of Simpsons Hit and Run? Did they have that a lot in Simpsons Hit and Run? Okay, drink water. You're saying there's a lot of yodeling in Simpsons Hit and Run? I don't believe you, cultured American. Oh, when Mars Attacks. Yeah, Mars Attacks has, the one song that starts like making their heads explode, but the actual soundtrack to the movie, it's a lot of theremin. It was an early Jack Black movie, which was pretty funny. Like a video game called A Hat in Time. Not familiar with that game, A Hat in Time. Hat in Time music is great. Yeah, okay. Alright. Take your guy's word for it. Infantry units done. Now the Impulsor, by the way. I think these transport builds as much as the Rhino chassis. Yeah. The Impulsor's a pretty crappy tank. Like to build and paint and everything. And I think the design of it's really bad too. You know what tank was not a pain to build at all? It was actually really enjoyable to build? Was this FellBlade. This thing went together so easily. Continuing on, silver. The turret piece is almost done though. Almost got our second coat here. Rain really is going to put me to sleep. So I won't be streaming tomorrow. We will be doing Patreon Hangout tomorrow. I'll probably continue painting this during Patreon Hangout. I'll be back on Thursday continuing this. As soon as I'm done with this mini, I think I'm going to jump right into the Emperor's Children. I just need word on assembly and everything from the client. Welcome in, Mydraw. No worries at all. is. Okay, getting messages here. All right, back at it. Second coat's really doing wonders, so what we need it to do. So tips on using a dry brush to make a blend effect. Spitfire, what exactly are you trying to do? I think if you're trying to blend without doing like wet blending and stuff, you're better off using like stippling, where you're kind of jabbing at the surface with your brush gently. And it's like not a quite precise or fully filled in paint job. But I know you can find people that use stippling really well for highlights. That might be what you're looking for instead of dry brushing. Also, welcome in. You break out the airbrush, yeah. From sky blue to white. Yeah, stippling might do pretty well for you there. I think it's very much like with a lot of things in this hobby. It's not fun if you don't know how to do it, right? Or if you struggle with it, or it's just difficult. I think highlighting minis is among the most fun things to do when it comes to actually painting. I didn't think so until I was able to like pick out, like how to highlight a surface. Like where does the light go? Where do things belong? Like in context of the miniature. Once I kind of had that down and I knew I could control my brush to make it look reasonably well, it became a much more enjoyable part of the hobby for me. I'm cleaning or fighting the airbrush. Yeah, and if you're at that point, I don't know what kind of airbrush you have, but maybe it's time to get a better airbrush. You start working toward that. I think using an airbrush should be like most other tools, where where you start with a cheap one, and when it breaks or when you realize that the tool is your limitation on what you're doing, then you buy a nice one. Maybe you're just being limited by your tools at this point. So, are we up for lore questions? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, what's up? This is like quiz questions, or are you just asking me about specific things in the lore? Last bolter. Just getting the Havoc launcher. How they handle subterranean enemies? Well, I know the Siege of Vrax is a battle that's well known to have like big subterranean fights and stuff. And a lot of that was Krieg, like sapper teams, like engineers, digging underground, trying to dig tunnels under the enemy fortifications. And the enemy figured it out, and they counter-built. And it ended up being this big, like, war in the dark underneath the surface of the planet. It's like, that's a whole thing. So just straight up digging underground. There's also units that you can field in the Heresy called termite assault drills. And termite assault drills are basically drop pods, but they come up from underneath the surface. They burrow underground, they drive underground, then they pop up, and the squad gets out. Those are two, like, underground focus things that I see. I think as far as, like, do they have something that counters, like, Tyranid Raveners and stuff? I don't know. I don't know if they have specific, like, doctrines. A lot of concrete, heavy reinforced concrete. Battle of Calth had an underground war. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, just fill everything with concrete and you don't have to worry about people digging under you. Have thermal night vision? Yeah. Yeah, Marines should do just fine in the night. Alright. That's that. We'll do this. I think we'll do bronze next. We're still living Sons of Horus under Terra. Well, not living, just never confirmed dead. They were buried in a termite assault drill, right? Wasn't that thing they were trying to do an underground assault? And they just collapsed everything, and I think the idea is a Marine can live possibly for decades with no food or like nothing on them, but it's in a few longer than a couple decades. Yeah, there are Xenos that are human aligned. Yeah, that happens. Okay, let's get some bronze. Yeah, exactly, Spitfire. They're like no one was coming to get them, so they're probably like, yep. Spitfire. Some people see it that way. That trading with the Eldar is better than death. Some people in the Imperium don't see it that way. All right. We have bronze. We thinned it a little bit. That's your duty. Yep, yep. Starve you starve, it's better than interacting with Xenos. That's the Imperium's attitude. Bronze is looking good. No, for the most part, I don't think there were Xenos that were tolerated during the Great Crusade. I think there were even stories about Xenos who tried to welcome humans, and humans were like, nope, this is ours, and then just killed them. Yeah, Spitfire. The difference is between Rabute having an Eldar girlfriend and you eating those MREs is that he's super rich and one of the people in charge, so he gets to do what he wants. Hey, Sir Stroming Fish, welcome in, and thank you. Thank you. I kid you not, guys, I'm like fighting sleep right now with the rain going on and everything. I'm happy with all the progress I made. I was super excited to get started on this mini. It's just, oof. Yeah, blue, yeah. It's one of the basic realities about 40k. Yep. Imperium will talk about how it's immoral to eat the food from the Eldar, but then, you know, when they eat it, it's important. The vegetarian cornstarch that comes after the, yeah. Join building the mermaid, and it's good. Good. This whole thing bronze. I don't want that silver. I believe that's the bronze on that weapon. Little space marine in the turret. Yeah. Yeah, Raja. It's a big tank. It's just the turret. Just the turret. Look at the little guy. Okay. Tank. Gotta get some stuff on. Let's put you down over here. I have, let's see, this bronze, light bronze, white, gold, black, and dark neutral gray. Those are my colors. So 6 colors, including this bronze, to work through it. I think in that order as well. Painting hazard stripes on Imperialis minis? I bet they do. I bet that does. That sounds terrible. And I warned everybody earlier about this, but I don't think I can keep this mini in frame while I paint it, so it doesn't fit in frame when I'm not painting it. I'm just going to try to make sure I'm actually painting it well. $40K inspired music that's come out recently. No, like what? Okay, got some bronze down there. Is there other bronze I'm going to put on this mini? I don't think so. I could do... Here's what I could do. Just a little bit. Okay. Well, then I think that's it for the bronze. We can grab some light bronze. There you go, put a bunch of paints. Punch that paint scale to a much more positive light. Okay, attractive light. Alright. Weird, okay. An unfortunate amount of 40K inspired music is AI slop, yeah. I don't know if if they're particularly talking about AI music, but not just like the Space Marines singing songs or whatever, but yeah, like the Space Marine, I'm still standing. Yeah. There's not going to be a lot of gold on this tank, but there will be a lot of white. So, and the white always takes multiple coats and a lot of work with the brush. But the silver is definitely like the time-consuming color. Now the white on the sponsons will take a while, just because I gotta pick out actual details and stuff now, but. This is why Solar Ox vehicles win. They don't have sponsons. Those are two artists been following, confident they're AI free. Interesting. Okay. Do a quick once over before the second coat and see if there's anything else that I want to paint this color. Alright, so let's go through these guys. No bronze, a lot of white, and then we'll do some gold shell casings. So that's good. This piece we won't do. Some black casings on the rockets, and I'll do another color for like the tips of the rockets. This guy, I don't think see anything in this turret. No, we're doing black on a lot of that, so one's there, some black there. Okay, yep. Alright, Butterscorch, have a good one. Second light bronze coating.
First of all, let me take just a moment to thank you for allowing me back into
Hey, Varjokani, welcome. Thank you for the follow. See Warhammer I like. Alright, well, cool. You are most welcome in here. I am working on a Legion FellBlade super heavy tank. So, it's a really big tank. Got the spots in here. We're just working on base colors. I'm painting for another few minutes for the day, but welcome in. Do you paint Warhammer minis? Do you play Warhammer? What's your hobby? Warhammer too shy to decide on colors to use, so ADHD paralysis. Yeah, I get it. I get it. You gotta leverage that ADHD. You just gotta say, I'm gonna paint these like the box, and then you just like get it all in on your hyper focus. Just turn on some music and just paint for 8 hours straight. Like Skaven. Oh, that's cool. Okay. I don't think... No, I think I messed up. Keeps me from even trying. Yeah, that's all right. I always say painting minis is just making mistakes and just correcting them. Like, you're just correcting them until you feel like you've done enough. That's all it's about. I make tons of mistakes when I paint minis. And I just slowly, work out the mistakes the best I can. And sometimes mini comes out how I want, sometimes it doesn't. You know, for the most part, I'm generally happy with what I got, though. Var, if you want to join in, hold on. If you want to share pictures of minis or, I guess, chat about anything, Warhammer related or anything like that. I love seeing pictures of minis people paint. We have people in the Discord from every experience level, from like, hey, here's my first mini, to I just won, a national painting award with this one. But we got people of all different levels that share. I just love seeing people's art and what they're working on. But I am gonna call this stream there today. So we're gonna find someone. We're gonna raid out. This is the tank I was painting. This giant thing. It does have a turret, but I haven't painted the turret. Well, I'm working on the turret just like everything else. But I'm gonna find someone here. See if we can't raid out. What do we got? Thank you guys. Minis, a Galloway paints. Common patrol box and transport done. Nice, nice. We know this gentleman, miniature model maker. They were chilling with us. We're gonna raid miniature model maker, guys. That's what we're gonna do. So, what I'm gonna ask is that you guys go say hi, give this creator a follow. You know, maybe give them a little company or something. Show them just how supportive that we can be as a community, and yeah, just be a friend. But thank you guys for coming to hang out with me today. I will not be streaming tomorrow, but I will be back on Thursday. So Thursday evening, I'll be back on. Hey, Sassy Savsby. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I'll be back on painting more, guys. Come chill with me weekdays, all right? Just not tomorrow, but Thursday and Friday will be streaming. We'll continue to paint these. You guys have a wonderful afternoon, wonderful evening, and a great day tomorrow. And I will see you all on Thursday. All right. Bye, everybody.